it is exactly 38 minutes past the hour. Welcome back to Sunday Live here at Citizen Television. On to our one-on-one interview with the head of lending at HELB, the Higher Education Loans Board, King Ndegwa. He says there's money available. You just have to look for it. What do you say?
Well, we'll see what the comments are, and if that is a true reflection of the situation kwa ground.
Correct. Mambo ni different.
But first, let's take a look at what the classification is based on the household income, and the band 1, which covers those who make no more than about 5,995 shillings monthly, qualify for 70% government scholarship. We also have 25% loan, 5% household contribution, and an upkeep of 60,000 shillings. Then those whose income ranges between 5,995 shillings and 23,670, that is band 2, qualify for 60% government scholarship, 30% loan, 10% household contribution, and an upkeep of 55,000 shillings. Those in band 3, which ranges from a household income, monthly income of 23,671 shillings and 70,000, are placed in band 3, and there we have 50% government scholarship, as well as 30% loan and 20% household contribution and 50,000 shillings I beg your pardon, upkeep. Then we have band 4, and band 4 is for those whose monthly income, family household monthly income, is 70,001, and between 70,001 and 119,999. Now that is band 4, and they qualify for 40% government scholarship, 30% loan, 30% household contribution, and upkeep of 45,000. Now for those whose monthly income is above 120,000, they fall in band 5, which is 30% access to 30% government scholarship, or rather they qualify for that, and 30% loan, 40% household contribution, and upkeep of 40,000. And those, the monthly household income I was just making reference to, as far as the bands are concerned, are now up on your screen.
So, Kingori, the question is, how do you verify the information provided by students? And you mentioned KRA before, right?
Yes.
How do you verify otherwise?
All those indicators we use 8 social indicators, then the income, and then the affirmative action. We have APIs with different bodies. For KRA, we have...
When you say API, you mean?
Application Programming Interface. It's a live connection. In fact, things happen automatically without any intervention. So there's a connection, which is, if you update KRA, we are able to listen in and be able to pick it up. So we have, like now, people who are with disability, we have an API with National Council for People Living with Disability. If you are registered there, you just go to band 1 straight. For number of siblings in school, because it also has a weight on the family, we have NEMIS. NEMIS is a national... it's for learners, where all learners are registered in Kenya, and they're given a UPI number, unique number. So we have a live connection also with the Ministry of Education. It's the name is the Ministry of Education. So if you go to the people living under the cash safety nets, the hunger, or they're given money by government, the old was 65 and above, we have a connection with the Social Protection Department, which is a live connection. So and then for you as a person, the information about you, we have an API with what we call IPLS. IPLS is where everybody fetches data, including Safaricom, M-Shwari, and Pesa, all that. It's a national registry for persons in Kenya. It's automated. So whatever information we get and we use on the MTI, we do not allow self-declared information. So whatever you tell us, we have a connection to check whether you're telling us the truth. That's the difference between our MTI and any other in the world. Nobody else has achieved that except in very modernized nations.
But you saying that, my question then becomes that how did you get it so wrong in the case of Israel and in the case of Josiah? Because
and maybe there are more.
You were saying that students are inputting the wrong information, but if you're relying on all these other databases, how did you get it so wrong?
Well, I think we cannot say, for example, for NEMIS, which is now categorizing you and telling us which school you went, if the information there is tally with what we have in what the student is telling us, then that student will be classified fully. Now, there could be errors which may be, I cannot say that we're 100% perfect. There could be errors, but I don't think the margin of error is more than 1%. It must be below 99.9%. That is the accuracy that I can be able to stand and flush for it. So those outliers can be there. It is everywhere in the world. In statistics, there is always an outlier.
In the case of Israel, he did submit with his application a letter from his member of parliament saying he has been a recipient of bursary, that his mother is a single mother. So his circumstances were clearly outlined. So can the reason then he was classified under band 4, it cannot be that he inputted the wrong information?
We need to verify that information. I'll need to get that information. What can happen is that the students were not supposed to attach anything. They were supposed to upload. There is a template even provided for that. So when you get, when the system will ask you, were you sponsored in high school or even primary school? And we have a drop down of people who we know, the main scholarships, like Rimu Scholarship, Wings to Fry. Now, if you have a letter, maybe if you're at the CDF, which is also part of that, and you are sponsored by CDF, you're supposed to get a letter from your MP and upload. In most cases, if Israel did that, he'll be in bad one. We don't ask any other questions once we get you in that. Even
he says he did do that, and was still classified under band 4. We
will verify. Maybe there could be some technical error somewhere, but we will confirm. And Israel need to come to us. Let him talk to us.
You know, it's a challenge.
He's been trying, but he's not able to get through.
It's easy to say, come to us, but this is, for example, there's another young man in Ganze, Kilifi. A young man in Ganze, Kilifi, who lives in, if you just looked at the type of life they're living, it's deplorable conditions. So telling that young man to come to you, how?
No, Kilifi have Kilifi Huduma Center. We have 28 Huduma centers with 2 employees each from HELP. And where we don't have, we have cyber cafes that we have trained. We have also partnered with COOPS. COOPS is also in all Huduma centers. And they also even have regional offices. And when we work with them, you will not even know whether you're working with HELP or University's FAD or COOPS. We have trained all of them, sensitized all of them to answer all our questions. And they know what to do when such a person comes.
But sometimes they find themselves, you know, they're not confident enough to walk into a Huduma center or a cyber cafe to do the necessary, especially after they've been rejected or put in a different band. What do? I mean, they need that confidence. They need to know that they can appeal and get the aid they need. Yeah,
the appeal module is online, and they just need to log in and wait for the results. It is about 1 hour or so.
Can I be honest with you?
Yes.
Right before we got into studio, I did try accessing hef.co.ke, where I meant to lodge the appeals.
Yes.
And I could not access it.
We were uploading data. We were uploading data, and when you're uploading data from this data is in the portal. It has to go to our core system. Once we are given a go ahead on Friday. To now, you can use the tool. So we move the data from one database to another. If you ask technical people even allowed here, it is not anything that can happen in less than 24 hours.
So when is
massive data.
When is it back up?
It should be back up even, maybe we can check even after this. I've just talked to, when I was coming in for the second session, I've just talked to my ICT manager and asked him, have you finished? So before he could answer, I was calling. But it's not anything that can go. We are conscious of the challenges people are going, the hopelessness out there. We want to give our Kenyans hope. We want to tell them HELP is there, UF is there, COOPS is there for them. And these are government institutions that have been set up by your government. So even if the portal is down for a minute or two, most systems, although you'd want them to be fault and that they cannot go down, like airport system, HELP is at almost that level. Our portal uptime is more than 99%. But when you are doing those kind of transfers of data, you have to switch it off. But there must be a message also saying that...
what about those who are not technologically savvy?
The youth?
Or even... their parents also have to give input. No, they not?
No, their parents don't have to. This is student-based, and they can use their gadgets. Those ones who have gadgets, they can even use Murikamwizi if you have there's a USSD code. But about digital, maybe in TVET colleges, but TVET colleges are students are normally assisted when they report. But for university students, within 2 weeks, we had over 100 hits. Over 2 weeks. And it's something that you need to assemble some documents, go to the portal, and upload. Usually, in other times, it can take even up to 3 months.
The appeals process, how long does that take?
The appeal process will be open until the end of July. Anybody who wants to come in July next year.
No, but for those who have to report, let's say this coming week,
September or whatever.
You know, when you're reporting, you are not supposed to pay 100%. You pay basically about 30%, but you have to finish it before the exams, the 50%. You know, you have 2-3 semesters. What universities have done, we have given them what you call those lists. And they were able to share the information. Is it yesterday? Some letters went out. All universities. Now, that list, they have taken it as a promissory note from government. So nobody is going to be told, go away. They are just going to be told, pay what you have as you wait for the money from help. So there's already a process that no student will be turned back. And I can tell parents, wherever they are, take your children to school. If you have any parent having any challenge, let him get in touch with anyone, Huduma Center near us. And then we also have our people on the ground. We have sent people to Machakos, which is opening on Monday. We have sent people to Meru. We have sent people to, I think, Nairobi University. There are some students coming. I don't know, agriculture is coming. So they'll fight our officers with the machines and the information that they have.
You sound very optimistic and very confident, but how do you reassure people out there? Because, people are very skeptical. They don't trust the university system.
Yeah, but for this time, the government the ministry has coordinated the funding agencies and the ministries. We have had a series of meetings with the vice chancellors. Even tomorrow, we have a meeting with the PS. So there's a lot of coordination, and the vice chancellors committee is working with us to make sure that we are able to learn safely without any student suffering any consequences.
All right, so now
talked about the kid in
Ganze, Kilifi. I mean, this is a child who repeated his KCSE exams twice, has been called to Egerton. Even that fare to get from home to Egerton University, because there's an upkeep allocation.
Yes. And
if he's in the wrong band, will he receive that allocation? How soon?
For that case, because maybe he should be able to get with us anytime, including after this. You can even leave my number with you. We should be able to change his bedding on Monday morning, and whatever action need to be done, be done. Maybe the money might take a day or two to get to his account, but I believe, they are required to raise at least 5%. Which course is he doing, by the way?
It's medicine.
Medicine.
But let me just confirm. I'll
medicine,
confirm that.
The amount is high. But if you look at, I had done a simulation for these programs like education, medicine, Bachelor of Commerce. So, and I'm trying to check somebody in Band 1, how much are you going to pay? If you look at education and you're in Band 1, you're supposed to pay, the cost of the education in, the average cost is 122,400 in Kenya. The household contribution is 6,120. And this one is to be paid into installments. And then the child is getting an upkeep of 60. If I go to Band 5, the same program cost, the parent is supposed to pay 48,960, and the upkeep is 40. Now, this is for 2 semesters. So if you divide 48 by 2, that's 24. This child just last year was paying more than 30,000, 50,000 for high school. So even if the situation has changed so dramatically, they should be able to lay some bit of bus fare to get home, to get to school. Sorry.
That bus fare is the problem. From Kilifi to, was it Nakuru County?
Yeah.
It's a lot of money for people who are making 5,000 a month.
Yes.
You know?
I'm curious, how many have you categorized under the various bands?
Well, 133,000.
In total?
No, so 113,000. 113,000.
113,000?
Yes.
What's the transition rate?
89% now.
89%?
Yes.
So how many under Band 1, Band 2, Band 3, Band 4, and 5?
Under Band 1, we have 10,598, which is 9.5%. Band 2, we have 11,393. Band 3, we have 37,164. Band 4, we have 26,130. But 5, where the most complaints are coming from, we have 7,194, which is 6.6% of the total applicants.
And how have you been impacted by the budget cuts?
From last year, the government has been very generous to us. We didn't suffer any budget cut. We got everything we wanted. But previously, before 2022, we had some struggle. Right now, I think the focus on education is so much from the government.
And the story last week that 70,000 students might miss out on university?
No. The money has been committed by National Treasury. I won't even be surprised if we get it tomorrow. But even if it doesn't come tomorrow, I said we still have some money from recoveries, about 3-4 billion, which we can already use to pay the ones who have reported. Not everybody has reported, only about 4 universities. Majority of them will be reporting on 26th, and another group on 2nd. So we have money to cater for the few that have reported.
So you have no funding deficit?
We don't have a funding deficit. After the Thursday commitment, Monday commitment from the Treasury, we don't have.
There's a lot of questions coming in.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of
Twitter or X.
those.
Shall we get to that?
Yes.
What do you say? Come on, let's do that because a lot of people are asking a lot of questions we want to know. Coming in very thick and very fast.
Let's see who we have up first.
That's right, go ahead.
This is a senior activist. Why is it that we TVET students at Machakos University are not eligible for HELB funding? Is that accurate?
Yes, it is a policy issue where the universities were directed not to offer diplomas because the TVETs, the government had invested billions of dollars in TVETs. Do you know the last, from 2014, the government has built over 200 new TVETs. And they are equipped. They have major, laboratories, which you cannot even find in the universities. So instead of now institutions competing for a small group of people, the TVETs were told, you take the diplomas and the certificates. Universities focus on the degrees. Yeah, so we have such a policy, and that's what you're following.
Gerald M. Kariuki says, help clarify as well on the postgraduate funding for scholars repaying their undergraduate loans and the scholarship program. What's the criteria for applying and getting one? Postgraduate.
Postgraduate is different. For people who are doing masters and PhD, or you're doing a first degree and you have been working. So we have that money is available. You just go to the portal. The only thing we need is your payslip to be having at least something that can cover a third of your basic. But this is straightforward. It has no issue at all. I've never had any complaint about this because we're able to give you the money in the shortest time possible. It takes less than 1 week to process a postgraduate loan. And the massive money, a lot of money, is 200,000, 600,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, this is Dennis Gitari. How does the ministry determine the parents' income? What information or data do they rely on? Do not forget, majority of Kenyans are employed in the informal sector. Really good question.
Yeah, but the way we verify that data is through Kenya Revenue Authority. And that data, we have data from turnover, if you're running a business, TOT, if you are working, if you have rental income, and they don't give us the amount, the actual amount. They give us a rate, just like the way you see the ranges on this wall. It's the same. They just say this one is between 0 and that one. So we are able to match that with the.
What if you're a border rider?
They'll be found somewhere.
I mean, even people who are jobless, how would you access their data on?
What would happen if you're jobless? The MTI can be able to know, because it will also see where you are taking your children to school. It will also see your consumer behavior, because there are some areas that you are seeing. We'd also see that you are maybe at the hunger and safety net by the social protection. So we are able to, those ones without income, we are able to go further and check with other databases that it's true that they are not on income.
Those being paid cash every day?
For some reason, you go and transact somewhere. And what you don't know is that the government is collecting a lot of data. So for some, you will transact somewhere, even if it is something, maybe some kind of tax you have paid. Because when you are paying, even buying fuel, you pay some tax. Maybe it does not give you the name, but if you are purchasing something, even in a border, you pay some tax. You're already picked by the KRA data.
But let me ask you, do you have officers who actually go on ground and verify with the chief or assistant chief that this child is actually in need of assistance?
Our team usually does a sample, because it's very expensive to cover. Social protection have, for the last about 10 years, I've only covered 23 counties. It's very expensive. But we also have the education officers on the ground. They're able to verify that information. We normally give them the list, and they go to the various homes. Already, I think this month, after this one is done and we have sorted the appeals, we'll go to the ground and just sample through some households to see exactly how the MTI was accurate.
All right.
Okay, let's keep moving.
This is Martin Koros, who says, I need to ask for clarity on erroneous deduction by HELB, whereas someone didn't benefit from them. I have followed up deductions amounting to 180,000 but haven't been refunded.
Maybe we can investigate that, but this one looks like a dream to me. I've never heard. How would we recover money from you and we never gave you? What would happen, what some people do, they applied for the money, but they didn't go to school. Then you get a job or you get a scholarship, you leave. So, but the money is sent to you told us you're in Egerton, we will send the money there. So when Egerton doesn't return the money to us, we will ask you for the money. And you didn't go, because you never told us that you didn't go to Egerton. You just left. So this could be a thing like that, but we do not have anybody that has ever come to us to say, I was not given. They'll give a story, I didn't go to school, so I never received the money.
Okay. Do you want to take the next one, Jeff?
Absolutely, let's do it. Maneno Newton says, my problem with this new model is that at the end of a student's course, they'll be saddled with a loan burden of hundreds of thousands of shillings as they begin their career journey. Is this meant to make former students financially beholden to the government or what?
Actually, who pays this loan? Is it
the
student or the parent?
The student pays. But if you look at those percentages, the poor student is taken care of because the poor student is only paying 5%. I mean, getting a loan of 10%. So, and then, Jeff, about 35 years ago, I went to university. I got a loan, a very huge, which I've paid until about a few years ago. So loans are normally meant to create sustainability in a project, because if you just give money and it just disappears like scholarship, then the next year the same. Over time, you will start struggling. So loans come in. If you look at many countries in the world, like the US, loan burden is a campaign issue every time.
Yeah.
The student leave university with 30 million. Of school fees.
Correct.
Here in Kenya, we have looked at the highest, will be about 2.2 million. But you know now, you had a medical doctor. Those are medical doctors. Let me not comment about joblessness in the country because I saw the other time they were demonstrating. But in a very few months, a doctor is able to start making money, even without employment. They do the locums, the what, all those things. But I would rather get the loan and go to school, rather than having a finance a barrier for me to get to school. And then the president has promised that the reason why he's funding at program cost, he wants Kenyans to get very good quality graduates. Previously, you could get graduates who are half-baked. I think you have heard about the story. Because the money was not enough. The school would teach you until the end of the money. Then from there, you will go to industry to learn the rest. So this model is based on pure good reasons and sincere reasons. But maybe people are leading it differently. But I can assure you the philosophy behind it is to help Kenyans go to school.
All right. This is Ben Riot, who says the fund appeal section is inactive as of now. I think you addressed that. Yeah. You addressed that earlier. Jeff?
Yes, Sage Kalani says, kindly clarify on students who were placed in private universities. Are they eligible for the scholarship too, or just the loan?
Any student admitted in a private university, they are getting a loan only, and they are getting a loan of 60% of their program cost. And the reason is, one, when they were applying for placement, they were warned 3 times. You are choosing a school that does not attract government sponsor. Do you want to proceed? And they proceeded. Before they submitted, they were asked the same question again, twice. So if you look at choice, when you're making a choice, it means choice, by the way, in consumerism shows that you have some money somewhere. You know, you have something somewhere. Yeah. So the element of scholarship was not only for students in public universities.
All right.
But the loan is there.
Yeah.
Do we take one more question? This is Jonathan. Who says the funding is shambolic, the classification is vague. Students whose parents are not working are banded in category 3 of 23,000, and in Kenya, very few rural families have such an income. Your response?
You know, we are not even talking about absolute incomes for rural families. Let me tell you, I come from Nyeri. We don't buy meal. We have our own cows. We have our own food. I don't go to the shop. In fact, only sugar and salt. So if you quantify that income, you might find that even the person in the village, especially in area, very nice agricultural areas, Rift Valley, they may even be better than some of us. Because me, I have to go to the shop to buy everything I need. Them, they have it there. Now many times they have enough for themselves, and they can also sell to their neighbors.
All right, let's squeeze in one more. This is Kamau. Vicky, do you want to take this? Go ahead. That funding model isn't fair. I was placed in band 5, where I'm supposed to pay 122,400 shillings per year, and my parents' income is less than 12,000, and I gave out the correct details when applying. My dream now is totally shattered because my parents are not able. Yeah,
this is a case of, and because I've heard about them, these are teachers and maybe civil servants. Because of the many, they are committed, they are now building capital, they are buying, maybe you're building a house. So you take a loan until your income is so small. So these are the people who are, and these are the people we are focusing with the appeal module. But basically, this is somebody who has some, you can even see 12,000, but he could, if he clarified, he would be telling us this is the net income, not the gross income.
Yeah. We're getting a lot of messages. I have one here from the Chief Conservationist at Kenya Forestry Services. His name is Julius Kamau, right? He says, there's a young man I know who's of a single mother who is not employed. In fact, he schooled through Harambee in secondary school, yet was categorized band 3. And he is supposed to pay 55,000 shillings per year. He cannot even raise 12,000.
Yeah, these are the people we are saying, let them come to us. We look at how they got into that bad. And I'm saying the experience I've had, I've done this MTI for the last 27 years. Students normally give their powers to fill this form to someone else. And they trust the person is doing. And since they are not able to see the data they have entered, because the data, whatever print is only 1 page, but the data they have put is like 10 pages. So that is usually where the biggest problem is. But let them come to us. The appeal module is waiting for them, and we have money reserved for them. So nobody should lose hope. And I'm telling universities, and I'm requesting them, it's a prayer. If a student came to you and said, I want to go home, tell him before I sign your letter, go to HELB. And before they go home, let them come to us. They'll see the kind of intervention we'll do for them.
Here's another one. Jeff, I have a student reporting tomorrow at UON, and he is yet to get any loan and has not been categorized in any of these bands. He is very confused.
There are some students who applied for loans on Thursday and Friday and this weekend. You see the report we have that was sent to the university, sent on Thursday. So anybody who is there will be categorized tomorrow on Monday, and the information released to the university. Actually, and for those universities that are open, we already have somebody waiting for them. So let them look for the help desk. It will be clearly marked. There will be banners, and they will be assisted.
Maybe you should give our viewers your number so that they can all call you tonight.
But here we have a question. Does help track the progress of students they fund from admission to graduation? Okay, I think you started in 2022,
yes,
yes. If so, what's the dropout rate, and how has that changed since introduction of the new funding model? You have experience of what, the last cohort?
Yes, the experience of the last cohort. Actually, only about 200 students who never reported, 209 thereabout. And although they had applied for loans, they never reported, and we have already told the universities to return the money, and they have returned. So I think because of the packaging, the financial packaging we have given, the retention rate is higher than before. If you look at the completion rate for the previous years, they are very bad. Yeah. I don't want even to mention here.
Yeah. That's your camera over there.
Yes, yes.
Talk to the people out there who are saying, help me, help me. What do you tell them?
To all my Kenyans, students who are reporting to the university last year and this year, the government has enough money for you. If you have been categorized in the wrong band, please get to the nearest Huduma Center, or if you are within a lobby, you can also be able to reach us. We are also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. If you can be able to get in touch with us, we'll be able to package something for you so that you also join the other children in class. Thank you very much.
Well done. King Orindegwa, I wish I could be a student again. I would apply for this.
You would? I got a help loan.
You did, huh?
And yes, and how are the repayment terms different this time around than when it was under the differentiated unit cost? Because there are those who feel that this will saddle them with more debt.
No, this one, they will graduate around after 5 years. That's when we shall start seeing how they are moving. But the kind of teaching now they are getting, it will be very easy for them to get a job. Because they will be by the time they are finishing, they will even be doing what they are learning. Unlike before, where they were not able to cover the whole syllabus because of funding. Remember, some courses require you buy materials, you buy what, and the universities do not have that money. This year alone, we have transferred what we can say different from the other year. I mean, last year and the other years, we've transferred more than 5 billion additional money to the university that they had not received. They would not have received it under the other model.
And they've been able to
and we can see
even without ideas.
Even without ideas. People are applying with index number. We have about 22,000 students who have already applied without with the index numbers.
Are they the loan signatories?
Yeah, they have signed.
All right.
Yeah.
You still paying your loan?
No, I cleared it. I never came for my clearance letter. We'll discuss later. But on that note, Jeff.
Well, thanks so much. Head of Lending at HELB. Keep helping.
Thank you.
Helping.
Thank you.